Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. So now we are proceed to the tutorial for the process costing. So I'm using questions Harum Sneer Merhat as a tutorial one. So in these questions, you are required to prepare the process account for process 1 account and the process 2 account and the relevant statements to support this process account. Okay, so I'm starting the most simple questions, then moving towards some more difficult questions. So it goes by stages. Huh? And also, other than that, other than the process costing, we also will continue on the tutorial for the join and buy product. Okay, so we go through these questions. Tutorial 1. Harum Sdn Bhd manufactures a variety of flower miniatures for house decoration purposes. The production involved two processes known as a process 1 and process 2, and you are given the following data relates to the processes for the months of December 2022. So in the process 1, there's input materials, and in the process 2, there is a opening work in progress, and then the degree of completion for the sum of the works transfer from process 1 and the current cost for the additional material conversion cost. Okay, remember conversion cost is for the refer to the direct labor, and usually it's a direct labor and overhead. Direct labor and overhead. Okay, then the closing work in progress, and then transfer the degree of completion to transfer from process 1. Then the information on the expected loss, normal loss, abnormal loss, or abnormal gain, if any. And this, the manufacturer is using first in, first out method for the valuation of their product. Okay, for your information, there are two methods that we can apply for the valuation of the equivalent units, which is the first in, first out method, and another one is the weighted average method. Okay, we you start prepare the process 1 account. Okay, so you just prepare the T account here. So the process 1 account. Okay, so the process 1 account. So we may start with the okay, we may start the process account by T account here. Okay, so we may put the item. Okay, item. So here is the cost, the RM, and then is the units. Okay. Okay, and is the item. Okay, start from the process 1. So there's input material and the conversion cost. All right, so we record the input materials. So the material, which is 3,600, equivalent to 360,000, and then the conversion cost. Okay, conversion cost is 242,100. Okay, then next we need to compute the normal loss. Okay, so the normal loss. So here you can see the expected loss is 12.5% of the physical input. Okay, physical input material for process 1 and 4% for the production for process 2. So we provide working for normal loss. So normal loss. Okay, so this one is also the item, unit, and the RM. Okay, so this is the normal loss. So the normal loss is 12.5% multiply by the input unit 3,600, which is 450. Okay, 450. Okay, is it the normal loss has a scrap value? Okay, so you can see from the questions, scrap units were detected at the end of process 1 and was sold immediately at 15 ringgit per unit and 25 ringgit per unit. So for process 1 is 15 ringgit. So this one 450. Okay, we may multiply for the RM 15 ringgit for the scrap value. Okay, so it is 6750. 6750. So we put it here 6750. Huh? Okay, then we go to the next, which will compute the all right, so we'll compute the output or abnormal loss 6750. All right, so then to compute the abnormal loss, you need to compare the input versus the output. Okay, so the input, so abnormal loss is where abnormal loss is happen when the normal loss, when the actual loss or normal loss, okay, actual loss, okay, more than, actual loss is more than the normal loss. Actual loss is more than the normal loss. So that will contribute to the abnormal loss. So we need to find the actual loss. Okay, actual loss is when the input unit, okay, input unit less than the sorry, input unit is more than the output unit. Okay, so the input units, so here input unit is 3,600, the output unit is 3,000. Okay, so given the questions here, output transfer to process 2 is 3,000. So go to process 2 is a 3,000 units. Okay, then we will have the abnormal loss. Okay, 3,600 versus that means the actual loss is 600. So for the abnormal loss, so the actual loss here is 600, which is more than the normal loss 450. Yeah, so abnormal loss is 150 units. So it is 150 units. So when you add up, so the number of units here should be equivalent, should be balanced, the debit side and the credit sides. So 3,600 units. So 450 plus 3,000 plus 150. So it is 3,600 units. Okay, on the column for the value column, so we need to calculate what is the cost per unit. Okay, cost per unit. So the cost per unit is the input cost, which is 360,000 plus 242, which is 602,100. Okay, so 602,100 less the value, the normal loss scrap value, normal loss scrap 6750, and divide by the expected output, which is the input units minus the normal loss unit, 450. So that will give the cost per unit. Okay, divide by, so the cost per unit is RM 189, and this will be used to value what is the output for transfer to process 2 and absorb that cost per unit to the normal loss. So 3,000 here multiplied by 189. So that is 576,000. Okay, and the abnormal loss multiplied by 189. So it is 228,350. So when you add together, it should be automatically balanced with the debit side. Okay, 602 and 100. So that finished for process 1 account. Okay, next we want to do the process 2 account. Process 2 account. Item. Okay, so this is the units and the RMs. So the item, the units, and the RM. Okay, transfer from process 2 become as a transfer from process 1 become the input in the process 2. So this is the transfer from process 1, which is 3,000. 3,000 at cost 567,000. 567,000. Okay, don't forget in the questions, it's given to you the opening work in progress, where it has opening work in progress 5,000 units, and these 5,000 units have a cost which is 100% transfer from process 1, so 380,000, 584,000, 105, and 500,000. So all these is equivalent to 1,069,500. So we put it here, 1,069,500. Okay, then we put with the added material. So the added material, additional material. Okay, additional material, which is 7,500. So 979,200. And the conversion cost. So the conversion cost is 528. Okay, so this conversion cost and the units now we add up together as a total. So that makes the total here 15,500, and here is 3,143,700. Okay, this total we cannot balance it with the credit side of the process to account, because you need to calculate what is the normal loss, what is the finished goods, and what is the closing work in progress. Okay, you can see that this process involves only 2 processes. So that means in the process to account, we may close the account and regarded that as a finished goods. All right. So here first we need to calculate the normal loss. So in the process 2, in the question stated here, the normal loss is expected to be 4% of the production for process 2. Okay, so now the normal loss in the process 2. So it is a 4% of the expected production. So expected production means we need to add all together the production units here, 5,000, 3,000, and 7,500, and we need to minus with the closing work in progress. So this is a finished good. Okay, and closing work in progress. Okay, so we look at the question. Is it the information is given? So closing work in progress is 3,000. Finished good is 12,000. Okay, 12,000. So here is 3,000. So make sure that balancing will be 15,500. So that means automatically we will know that the normal loss will be 500. But it can be verified through our calculation, which is the 15,500 minus the closing work in progress, which is 3,000. Okay, 3,000. So it is 15,500 minus the 3,000 multiplied by 4%. So it is 500 units. Okay. So then these 500 units, you need to multiply by the scrap value. So the scrap value for the normal loss process 2 is 25 ringgit per unit. Okay, so you multiply by RM 25 ringgit per unit. So the value is 12,500. So then we record in the normal loss account process 2. Okay. All right. For the finished goods and closing work in progress, since the questions mentioned there is a degree of completion, that means there will be a statement of equivalent units. Statement of equivalent units. So we need to prepare the statements. Okay. Because there is a degree of completion here, process 2, for the opening work in progress conversion cost, only 40% completed, 60% balance to be completed in the process 2. The transfer from process 1 and additional material is completed 100%. Okay, so we need to prepare the statement of equivalent unit based on the FIFO or first in, first out. Statement of equivalent unit, which is based on the first in, first out. Okay, first in, first out unit. Okay, then first column will be the input, and then what is the output? Okay, so comes from the transfer from process 1. So we just take whatever in the process 2, okay? Additional materials and conversion cost. All right, so this input consists of our opening work in progress, okay, transfer from process 1 and the material. So we just take whatever we record in our process to account, which is opening work in progress 5,000. Okay, transfer is 3,000 and additional material is 7,500. So equivalent units here is considered as 15,500. Okay, out of this become as the output here, normal loss consider as 100% completed. Okay, normal loss. Normal loss, abnormal loss usually consider as the 100% completed. We just only focus to the opening work in progress and the closing work in progress to see any percentage of completion, which is not completed yet. So the output for the normal loss is 500. Okay, then we have the closing work in progress. Okay, on the credit side, kat sini kita ada finished goods, normal loss, and closing work in progress. Closing work in progress. Okay, we have the 3,000s. Then we have the finished goods. Okay, for the finished goods, you need to differentiate the opening work in progress and the completed production, CPDP. CPDP stands for the completed production during period, which is the input unit started and completed during the current period, not brought forward as the opening work in progress. So that is the material added and completed during the current period. So here, opening work in progress, we have 5,000, and our finished good is 12,000. That means the balance is completed production during the period, which is 7,000. Okay, because our finished good is 12,000. Okay, so altogether here is 15,500. 15,500. Right, so for all processes, normal loss considered as 100%. So 500, 500, and 500 here, right? So for the closing work in progress, out of 3,000, we need to look at this degree of completion, 100%, additional material 100% as well, and only 40%. That means we will complete the balance, which is another 60%. So since this one we are preparing statement of equivalent unit for process 2. Jadi so the that means there is nothing to complete for process 2. For the opening work in progress. Jadi it's a nil. Additional material also is a nil. So this one 60%. We need to take the 60%. So 60% out of 5,000. So it is 3,000. Okay, so here why it is nil or zero? Because it's already 100% completion when it is transferred from process 1 in the process 2. Okay. Then for the this one, completed production during the period also, assuming it is 100% completed. So here it is 7,000, transfer process 1, column, consider 100% completed, additional material also 7,000 completed, and conversion cost also 100% completed, 7,000. Okay, usually this statement of equivalent unit, it's involved for the work in progress, which is for the closing and the opening. Okay, then you can see that for the closing work in progress, 3,000. So you can see the degree of completion is 100% for transfer from process 1, 70% and 50% only. So here 100%. 100% completed, so that means it is 3,000 here, but here only 70% out of 3,000, so 2,100, and here is only 50%. 50% out of 3,000, it is only 1,500. So the statement of equivalent unit for this transfer from process 1, it is only 10,500. So here 9,600. And here is 12,000. All right. So that is our statement of equivalent unit. Next statement, we have to prepare the statement of cost. statement of cost. So this is unit. The unit, we have to value the unit, the statement of cost. Okay, so how much is the value that we should value our units of productions that stated in the statement of equivalent units. Okay, so there is a transfer from process 1. Okay, material, additional material. So this one is the additional material column. Then it is conversion cost. And the total. Okay, so our current cost, so we may take from our accounts here in the process 2, transfer from process 1, 567, 979, 200, and 528. Okay, for current costs. So here 567,000, 979, 200, and 528,000. Okay, and for the equivalent units, so this is the equivalent, we call it as the equivalent unit. So divide by the equivalent unit. So the cost per equivalent unit. So equivalent unit for the transfer, so you just take from the statement of equivalent unit, which is 10,500 here, 9,600 here. So this one go to this one go to this one, and this one go to this one. 9,600 and 12,000. So we divide the 567 with the 10,500. So you got 54 per unit. So here 979 to 100 divided by 9,600. So it is 102. And here 5 to 8,000 to 12,000. So you got a 44. So in total it is 200 per unit. Okay, so that is a statement of cost. And finally, we need to prepare another, this one is to find the cost per unit. Finally, is to prepare the statement of evaluation. Okay. Statement of evaluation is where we want to find for each value of the normal loss, closing work in progress, opening work in progress. Okay, and for each output, okay, we want to find what is the net normal loss value. So net normal loss value is the normal loss minus the scrap value. Scrap value, normal loss minus the scrap value. And then we want to find what is the value for the closing work in progress, opening work in progress current, okay, and then value for the completed production during the period. Completed production during the period. Okay, so we need to calculate for each transfer from process 1, then the material. Okay, net normal loss usually for so regarded for 1, total. So conversion cost and total. Okay, so the net normal loss, this is the 500 unit. Okay, multiply by RM 200 per unit. So it is 100,000. Don't forget, scrap value is 12,500. Okay, so the total, okay, let me make corrections. Okay, 500 units multiplied by RM 200. So it is 100,000. And don't forget the scrap value 12,500. So the value is 12,200. We may get from the process to account, which is 12,500 there, 12,500 there. So the value is 87,500. Okay. Then for the current work in progress, okay, we need to calculate for each. So we have 3,000 units as per equivalent units. So this is 3,000. Okay, multiply by for each RM54. Then okay. So 3,000 RM102. So here is 162,000. Here is 214,200. And here is 3,000 multiplied by RM44. Okay, so it is 66,000. So altogether is 442,200. For the current one, since the current one, opening work in progress for the current one in process 2, process transfer from process 1, none. Additional material also is none. Only have for the conversion cost 3,000. So here is none. So 3,000 here multiplied by conversion cost RM44. Okay, sorry, this one is not 3,000, but this one is 1,500. 1,500. 1,500 units. That is this come from this one. 3,000. This one also 2,000. Sorry, 2,100. It comes from the equivalent unit, which is this one. 3,000, 2,100, and 1,500. So this one 2,100 and 1,500. For the OWIP current is only 3,000, and for the CPDP is 7,000. 7,000 units multiplied by the total RM200, which is 1.4 million. So this one is 132. So here is 132. Okay, then now we can put in the our calculation. Okay, before that we need to calculate our finished good valuation. Finished goods valuation based on the first in first out. Okay, finished good valuation based on the first in first out, which is opening work in progress. The value is 1,069,500. Okay, that one is in our accounts here. Plus with the opening work in progress current, which is 132,000. So this one brought forward. So this one current, okay, which is 132,000. Then plus with the completed cost for the completed production during the period, which is 1.4 million. And don't forget the normal loss, net normal loss, 87,500. So you add up, and that will make finished goods valuation 2,689,000. 2,689,000. So this will be the value for the finished goods. The value for the finished good here, which is 2,699,000. So this one, 2,689,000. Okay, so costs for the closing work in progress, the value is closing work in progress. This one, 442,200. Right, closing work in progress, 442,200. So when you add up, it must be automatically balanced with the debit side, which is 3,143,700. Okay, so with that, our accounts completed already. Process 1, process 2, and the relevant statements, which is the statement of equivalent unit, statement of cost, statement of evaluations, and the value for the finished goods. Okay, so that's all for the tutorial 1. Thank you very much for your attention.